Girl's booty came back. I'm bringing sexy back. All right. But I had to trust the science, the very things you've been told to do, like eat less, skip your carbs. Oh my, how many of us have been
Mhm.
afraid of carbs, right? Do more cardio. They're destroying your metabolism and draining your energy. And that is so very true. So if you feel like you're dragging through the day, girlfriend, I've been there. I have been living on coffee in the past and I was eating less than ever. Before I learned about my nutrition, I was living on coffee. I was eating less. I was skipping the carbs and I was wondering why my belly wouldn't move. And I will tell you, if you've been there, it's not your fault. It's what we're taught. We've been following all those broken rules. And it's so hard to break those rules that we have in our head. So tonight, I want to show you the 3 reasons why nothing you tried in the past really worked. All right, how about that? Does that sound good? So, by my late 40s, ladies, I felt like I was failing everywhere. My marriage was collapsing. It was never that great, but it was collapsing. Almost 31 years of marriage. My music career was stalling, to say it in a nice way. It was in the toilet. And my body was another big L, I'll tell you. And if you wonder what L is, that means I was losing. And it wasn't because I was lazy. I wasn't eating junk, really. I was eating low carb. I was starving myself. I was doing everything I thought that I was supposed to do. Everything that we're supposed to do. That's what I was trying to do. I had big incentives. But still, my belly spilled over my pants. I look like a pop biscuit. Have you guys ever popped those biscuits open? You know what I'm talking about, those Pillsbury biscuits in the can, and you got to take that wrapper off of it. And I sit there like this, afraid it's going to pop. I know I wanted to pop, but I'm afraid it's going to pop. And then all of a sudden, poof. Well, that's how I looked when I came out my pants. Sometimes it's how I looked when I was in my pants, just overflowing like pop biscuits. I know it sounds stupid, but it's true. My energy was gone. And I was wearing baggy clothes all the time. And I'll tell you what, that exhaustion, it wasn't just physical, ladies, for me. It was mental too. How many of you have experienced that? It's mental. It wasn't just physical. And honestly, I stopped believing in myself. My confidence was gone. And I honestly thought, maybe this is just what midlife looks like. Because here's the truth, when I finally learned how to fuel my body with the right mix of this. Listen, protein, carbs, fats, and fiber and strength training. Everything really changed for me, not just my body, my confidence, ladies. And that's what I love about being in Bod Babes. I get to see women's, not just their body change, but I get to see your confidence change. My mindset has changed. My entire life has changed. I rebuilt myself after 50, and I'm telling you this, you can too. And I'm going to show you exactly why. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the biggest lie: eat less, move more. So, I was eating less and less and moving more and more. And here's the science. Here's the real science. When you slash calories too low, your body doesn't get smaller, ladies. It gets slower. Hear that. Your body gets slower because there's hormones like leptin and thyroid hormones, they drop. And then your cortisol rises and your metabolism learns to run on less fuel. That's why you get so much belly fat. And that's why women eating 1,000 calories, 1,100 calories, still are not losing belly fat. I want to tell you a story about my client, Melissa. She lived on 1,200 calories for years, ladies. And she thought she was broken. She was exhausted. She was falling asleep at her desk. Boy, I have done that. She was dragging through her workouts. And what we did was raise her calories. Now, I want to tell you that made her so nervous. When you come on at Bod Babes and you're wanting to lose body fat, and the first thing I do is say, well, I think we need to raise your calories. I mean, it freaks people out. So we balanced her meals and we balanced the protein and the fiber. We added carbs at the right times. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But listen, Within weeks, she felt human again. Her belly started shrinking because, starving yourself doesn't burn fat. It just burns you out a lot of times. When you're over 40, things change, ladies. We know that, you know? Under eating is just a signal to your body to store fat and not to release it. The answer isn't less food, and we've tried that. How many of us have tried that? Did it work? Oh, it was hard. It's not less food, it's the right food. That's what it is. So, clients, in your sample menu in the app, listen, I'm going to drop a new one in tonight, okay? It's plug and play. And by plug and play, I mean this. Plug and play simply means this. You can pick a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, and a snack, and you can hit 120 grams of protein. How cool is that, ladies? Very, very cool. Boy, it's simple. You don't have to plan anything out. There are like sandwiches in there. I would have never ate a sandwich, to be really honest. I would have thought, how's a sandwich going to help me get to my goals? But I didn't understand what my calories should look like. I didn't understand how to balance my meals. I didn't understand how much protein, carbs, fats, fiber. And I know it's a lot to learn, but I will tell you it will change your life. And I stayed stuck just following all of the marketing advice. It's so confusing. The second lie I want to talk to you about are carbs are the enemy. Now, how many of you ladies were eating low carb or still may be afraid of carbs? Lift those hands up. Give me something in the chat. Let me know the carb that you are most afraid of. I want to hear it. I know Tammy's driving. Tammy, don't try to type. Don't wreck, girl. You can tell me later. But I'll tell you, scariest carb, my scariest carb has always been rice. I felt like, oh my God, if I eat rice, I'm going to blow up. Or white potatoes. Oh my God. But I want you to hear this. And this is truly science for women over the age of 40. I want you to hear me loud. I want you to hear me clear. After age 40, carbs timed right actually protect your muscle and they stabilize your hormones. What? So by eating low carb, I was what? I was losing muscle tissue and I was making my hormones worse. And God had to try to help all the people I lived with because I was making their life just as miserable or maybe worse than I was mine. So eating low carbs, boy, it was causing me to lose muscle. So it was making everything worse. And it was causing me to just feel awful and mess up my hormones. So here's the thing. When you eat carbs in the morning and around your workouts, now I'm saying when to eat them. I want you to hear that. Your muscles are going to act like sponges and they're going to soak up those carbs for fuel and recovery instead of storing those carbs for fat. So when I finally stopped fearing all those carbs and I added some rice and potatoes back, listen, with strategy, right? I wasn't eating rice before bed. Okay? I'll tell you my favorite rice to eat is get a big old bowl of white rice, put sugar on top of it, put cinnamon on top of it, and put some 2% milk. Oh, throw it in the microwave, heat that puppy up. That's one of my favorite things to eat. So I'm not eating it like that. I'm not eating it like that, but I am using it right with strategy, right? And I want to tell you what happened when I started adding those carbs back in the right way with other things like strength training. My legs started firming up. Remember, I was telling you ladies how Wade was driving on just a regular old road, wasn't bumpy. I looked down at my shorts. I finally lost weight. Looked down at my legs because I saw them jiggling and it caught my attention. I looked down and I have never seen my body do this, but my legs look like jello driving down the road. I was like, I'm thinking, is that fat? Oh my God, do I still have more fat to lose? I was 5'7" and 121 pounds. Skinny. I didn't understand I had major muscle loss. And when I started eating those carbs and strength training, when I ate the carbs right, my legs firmed up and my belly did the opposite. It started flattening out and my energy came back. Because carbs, ladies, when you're over 40, they are not your villain. They are not. Here's what was also wrong. I went to the doctor and I told you all that I felt awful. And the only thing that he could find was my thyroid. And he said, I want to put you on some thyroid medicine. Well, and then he said, and I think you're going into perimenopause. But here's the thing I didn't understand. I was eating under 20 grams of carbs a day. No carbs, and low carb means no thyroid support. And guess what? I never got on that medicine because I was afraid to. But I have had my thyroid checked again and again. And guess what? My thyroid is now normal. No carbs means you're not supporting your thyroid. No carbs means you're going to have constant cravings and afternoon crashes like falling asleep at my desk. So, ladies, I am going to put you also in your messenger from me tonight, your carb timing cheat sheet. I'm going to put it in your app. You're going to see that come out to you, and it's going to tell you what carbs to eat, when to eat them, how much to eat, all that you're going to get tonight. I'll tell you, one person that I can think of is Sarita. Sarita was on 2 thyroid medicines. She was tired and she was bloated and she was convinced that she was done. She was eating low fat and low carb. So I added carbs back to her life. And I actually added fat back to her life. And she started eating 30 grams of protein. She's getting her fiber in every meal. And listen to this. I kid you not, under her doctor's care, she came off both thyroid medications. Both. Does that happen for everybody? No. But her food healed her. Her energy came back because carbs didn't break her body. Listen, the wrong timing and the wrong balance of those carbs might have. She was getting very little carbs. And here's the third lie. Cardio is going to save you. Well, it's not. I want you to hear. Here is the science. Cardio does burn calories. But here's the problem. Too much cardio, especially while under eating low calorie, will break down your muscle tissue. And muscle is your metabolic engine. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. As we age, we lose muscle tissue unless we fight against it, unless we're strength training and getting enough protein. And what happens when we lose muscle? We burn less calories. So without muscle, you're going to burn fewer calories, but your body is going to get softer and your energy is going to tank. And that's why women say, I walk every day, I do boot camps, spin classes, but my belly's not moving and I'm so tired. And I'll tell you why, because cardio without strength makes you weaker. Muscle is what protects, and muscle is what rebuilds your metabolism, which is how many calories you burn, whether you're just sitting around or whether you're working out. Because muscle is what shapes your body and fuels your energy. I know I have told you, ladies, how many times I looked in the mirror after I lost the weight and I thought, I look horrible. What is wrong with me? Why do I look like a can of pop biscuits? Why do I look like that? It's because I had lost muscle. And muscle is what brings your waistline in and shapes out your glutes that all of us want back, right? Now, listen, I had a client, Kimberly, and she was running almost every day. She was living on protein bars and salads, and her body stayed soft. Her energy was gone. And here's what I did. I cut back her cardio and I added strength training and I gave her more food. What? I'm trying to lose fat, Allie. I'm trying to lose body fat. We gave her more food in the right balance, gave her strength training. And within 6 months, she not only had more energy, But ladies, her body looked tight. She looked so good. Better than she had in years. She had glutes. Her waistline came in. And ladies, that's why inside of our app, you're going to see your workouts are built around strength. That is first. It's got to be it. That is the blueprint to get in your best body, that and your diet, strength training and the right diet. So I want to pause right here for just a second. And I want to talk about this because I spent years doing everything for everyone else. And most of you ladies have too. Career, kids, parents, grandkids, home. And I want to ask you something. What is left for you? So many of us are exhausted. So many of us are just hiding in our body, feeling like maybe this is just midlife. Maybe this is just how it's supposed to feel, but it's not. It's not. As you get these things right and your metabolism repairs and your energy comes back, I'll tell you, I have more energy now than I did at 20. I am not kidding you. And it's not because I'm lucky. I heard just this week a lady who started last week saying, "Oh my gosh, I have so much more energy already." And it's not because she's lucky or we're lucky. And it's not because of some magic supplement. Listen to me, we've tried those supplements. Here's why. Because we learned the rules for women over 40 that were never taught. So here is the filter. If your meals are leaving you hungry in less than 3 hours, your body is running on fumes. Your calories are too low. Did you hear that? If you're crashing in the afternoon and you feel like you're having cravings for coffee or sugar, your body is running on fumes. You need more fuel, the right fuel at the right time. And if your workouts are leaving you wiped out instead of energized, you need more fuel. And I want to tell you this. I love that we're living in today because I remember back in 1986, the smaller you were, the better. And if you had a big butt, we made fun of you. Seriously, in the 80s, people would make fun of you if you had a big butt. Now everybody wants it. I'll tell you what, because energy is the new sexy. Energy feels so much better. Strength feels so much better. And without it, nothing is going to work. And with it, everything changes. It really does. And I had a client named Pam, and she thought her belly was just her age. But listen, when she applied that filter and she realized that she was getting hungry too fast, I brought her calories up. She trusted me. And it's hard to trust that. And you know it is. And we added the right carbs and we raised her protein. And within weeks, her waistline started moving and she had energy to spare. So why am I telling you this? Because so many of you, my clients, are afraid of those calories. And we want to scale watch, and Wade preaches it. Boy, he can preach it. Throw your scale away. Remember, I even did a video where I took my scale, hit it with a sledgehammer, put some fuel on it, and lit that puppy on fire. I was so mad because I told one of the clients that day, I said, I would love to drive to your house, get your scale, and take it out in your yard and sledgehammer it because it's keeping you from getting to your body goals. It's lying to you. And so I did a video and I took mine out there and boy, I lit that puppy up. And I want to tell you, you can't be afraid of the right calories with the right amount of protein and the carbs at the right time. It's going to make you better, ladies. And I want you not to be afraid of it. Every single day I take coaching calls with you ladies. I have to preach it again and again, but the scale's not moving. Allie, my calories need to go down. No, you tried that. You tried it. And you might have lost weight for a short period of time and it came right back. That didn't work for you. Lift up those calories. Let me show you how to do it. Build that muscle. Because listen to me, if you don't have the calories, your body does not have the fuel to create tissue. Where do you think that that fuel is going to come from? That takes energy to do that. Where do you think that's going to come from? Because I will tell you from experience that I have worked my tail end off in the gym. Literally. You guys have seen me with no bootay at all because I worked that puppy off, working at the gym, losing my butt because I had low calories. And when I began to strategically raise those calories and those carbs the right way, girl's booty came back. I'm bringing sexy back. All right. But I had to trust the science. And you can't be afraid of the carbs, and you can't be afraid of the protein, and you cannot be afraid of the calories, the right calories. Okay. So tonight, ladies, I want you to go check it out. I'm going to send you a carb timing cheat sheet in your messenger from me. I'm going to send out the new sample menus. Here's a cool thing. Megan built out her whole day was just our Bod Babes cheat code sample menu. And it is awesome. It was just simple for her. We also need to talk about your calories, your protein, carbs, fat, your fiber, your workouts, how you're feeling, even the scale on your weekly coaching calls. So make sure that you are booking those out. Do not forget. If you're exhausted after 40, it's not because you're too old. It's because you've been under eating. It's because you've been scared of carbs. It's because you've been chasing cardio. Don't be afraid to eat more. The fix is what I call the energy trifecta, and that is protein, fiber, and smart carbs. Add strength, fuel your metabolism, and stop starving because I'm going to tell you, your energy is your life, and without it, you're just existing.